Hey, it's your guy Tyrrell back with the interviews. In today's video, we're going to break down how Martin Odegaard played a key role in Arsenal comfortably defeating West Ham 3-1. So in today's video, first we're going to focus on West Ham's shape, then we'll shift to Arsenal's attacking structure, and then we'll focus in on how Martin Odegaard played a key role in unlocking the West Ham backline. So when we break it all down and we do look at the board, we have Arsenal in a 4-3-3 and West Ham in a 4-2-3-1. So first we're going to focus on how West Ham looks to contain Arsenal, and when you look at that midfield battle, it should be 3v3 in that zone with Lucas Paqueta against Thomas Partey, Declan Rice against Odegaard, and Souček against Xhaka. West Ham ended up dropping off into two banks of four, and they created a hexagonal shape around Thomas Partey and that midfield zone, whereas Arsenal looked like more of a 3-2-5, and from there you had Odegaard and Xhaka pushing forward into pockets of space beyond Rice and Souček, and then we witnessed some variation from that Arsenal side. There were times where Xhaka was deeper, and you could see that 3-2-5, seeing Martinelli shifting laterally and then looking to drop in to receive the ball in that gap between Souček and Bowen. From there, that'd pull out Sofal, and then you'd see Tierney pushing forward down the left-hand side to provide the width. That wasn't the case, and Martinelli was hugging the touchline. Then you would see Xhaka pushing forward beyond Souček towards that gap between Dawson and Sofal, and you'd witness Tierney looking to drop in towards that space in that midfield zone near Thomas Partey. The problem that Arsenal had here is that even with Gabriel shifting over and White moving into more of a right center back role, in that center of the pitch, you had Antonio and Lucas Paqueta sitting near Thomas Partey and Tierney, and then you had Benrahma and Bowen tucking in narrow, and they were ensuring that it was very narrow and compact in that central area. In the preview that we uploaded a few days ago, we did focus on how West Ham could be bypassed, and it was definitely not through the center of the pitch, as they do a very good job of compressing the space in that area and making it difficult for opposing sides to bypass them in those zones. There were situations where you witness Nketiah dropping in towards that midfield zone to attempt to overload it, but whenever he received the ball in that area, he was simply dropping it off to his midfield teammates or towards his center backs, and he struggled to have an impact bypassing Rice or Souček. Out in the wider areas, when Martinelli did get on the ball, Owen did a very good job of dropping back deeper to protect his fullback, and Martinelli struggled to have an impact in those 1v2 situations. Over on the right-hand side, Saka would drop off deeper to pick up the ball, and you'd see Odegaard occupying the left back and the left center back, and there were situations where you had White even making the overlapping run to try to combine with Saka, but even down those sides, Arsenal struggled to have an impact in the final third. Even with Cresswell inviting Saka to cut in on towards his stronger foot in the central areas, Arsenal's right side impact was limited, and majority of their success stemmed through Odegaard dropping off deeper into pockets of space to get on the ball, carry it forward, and then serve as a creator to pick out his teammates. In the earlier stages, he was looking to get the ball to the outside of Benrahma, or he was dropping into that gap between Benrahma and Rice to get on the ball, and there were even situations where he dropped in towards his own half and served as a decoy to help Arsenal bypass that front six. It would often involve him dropping off deeper and playing the ball in towards Thomas Partey, dragging defenders or midfielders towards him, and from there Partey could either switch play or slide the ball out to Saka to get him into 1v1s. So in many situations in that opening half, you witness Odegaard picking up the ball deeper near the halfway line, whether it be on the outside of Benrahma, just ahead of Rice and Benrahma, or in that pocket of space just in beyond them. There was the odd scenario where Odegaard made forward runs in between the left center back and the left back, trying to serve as an attacking outlet, and there was one example in particular where a diagonal ball was played out towards Saka occupying Cresswell, and it was Odegaard running off Rice and Souček who weren't tracking his movement, and from there Odegaard made a run in towards that gap. The center back was able to track his run, and that prevented Odegaard from having a free effort on goal to beat Fabianski. Ultimately, that was the benefit of having Odegaard dropping off into those zones to get on the ball. He would separate himself from Rice and Souček, as Souček was often forced near Xhaka, and then Rice was protecting the center of the pitch or dealing with the positioning of Nketiah. And from here, Odegaard would pick up the ball, have the freedom to run at Rice, and Rice was often free to show him centrally because he was comfortable in terms of blocking his effort or forcing him out into wider areas. But from here, if Odegaard picked up the ball a bit deeper, he was looking to pick out the run of Xhaka in particular, and there were two situations in particular in that opening half where Xhaka was making runs off Souček to receive the ball from Odegaard in between the lines or near the West Ham penalty area. The first one, he ran off Souček in towards the box, but the pass was just slightly overhit. it. And the second one, he drifted laterally off Souček to receive an Odegaard reverse ball between the lines. And from here, rather than playing the ball into Nketiah or sliding it out to Saka, he ended up firing an effort with his weaker foot on goal that was tame at Fabianski. And then even when you shift to the second half, there was an improved effort from Arsenal to win possession when West Ham were looking to break forward or slide the ball out towards their attacking players. There were also situations where Gabriel pushed forward in towards the West Ham third, and then you could see Xhaka, Martinelli, and Tierney overloading that left-hand side. But in terms of Arsenal's fight back, there was no major tactical shift. It was simply down to them winning possession, ensuring that West Ham couldn't break forward in transition, and then Odegaard once again picking up the ball in those deeper areas and serving as a creative outlet, both directly and indirectly. Look to the build-up to their opening goal. It was Thomas Partey sliding in towards Declan Rice to stop that transitional attack, and from there, Odegaard picked up the ball deeper in that inside right position. He had the freedom to run beyond Benrahma and cut across Declan Rice, and although his shot was wayward, it fell into the path of Saka, who was unmarked, and Saka was able to level the game. Arsenal's second goal also stemmed from them winning possession in the midfield zone, and it was Saka simply brushing off Declan Rice and then dropping off the ball across Rice into the path of Odegaard, who was free in space away from Souček, and from there he was able to slide the ball across the midfielder in towards Xhaka. You could see that the center back in Dawson and Sofal were caught out of position, and Dawson had to step forward, and from there Xhaka was able to slide the ball across the fullback. Martinelli took his first touch across Sofal, and from a tight angle, he fired a low effort beyond Fabianski that the goalkeeper should have done a better job dealing with. And then in regards to the third goal, it's White taking a first touch across Benrahma, and from here you could see that he's able to break free towards the penalty area. Lucas Paquetá nor Declan Rice step towards him. He plays the ball in towards Odegaard, who's free in space in between Rice and Souček. None of them step towards him in time, and he plays a first touch in towards Nketiah, who easily spins across the center back who overcommits, and from a tight angle in right half space, he ends up killing off the game.
So as you can see, despite Arsenal's territorial dominance for large spells of this match, they still struggled to bypass West Ham's backline as it took Martin Odegaard's deep positioning away from Rice and Souček to exploit the away side's narrow 4-4-2.